Lawrence, congratulations on being made Rangers captain. Your reaction to that news?
Thank you. Obviously a huge honour for myself to be named captain of this football club. A lifelong supporter, and it was a dream to be in the first place, but to get the opportunity to captain the club is, as I said, a huge honour.
How did the manager break the news to you? What's the last couple of weeks been like? Is it something you had in your mind? Obviously a few of you have worn the armband. Maybe take us into what your thoughts have been leading up to today.
You just told me about an hour ago, to be honest, so I got a wee bit exclusive before yourselves. But no, listen, when I was at Hearts I was a captain. I believe since I've came here, kind of the only way I've kind of learned to behave around the place in my training is to act like a captain and try and be a leader in the group. It wasn't something I thought about too much, if I'm being honest. I was delighted to be here in the first place, but I always look to myself to set examples on the training pitch, do things properly around the place, and that's not just myself. Obviously, I've signed a lot of players to this group this season. Daniel, bringing a lot of experienced players who have been about clubs, been captains, and it's about always setting the examples as well. So in terms of my behaviours around the club, they've just been what I expect from myself.
How prepared do you feel for the scrutiny and everything that comes with this armband, and how beneficial has the Hearts experience been in there?
As I said, in the last 2.5 years, all I've known really has been a captain at a football club, and it's something I enjoyed. I enjoyed the responsibility. Of course, you touch on the scrutiny that comes with that. Of course, at times when things get difficult, people do look to the captain to kind of answer up for the squad, and that's something that I'll need to be responsible for. But listen, on the flip side of that, the rewards of being successful at this football club and being a successful captain, for me, outweigh it by miles. So it's something I'm really looking forward to.
In the modern way that there's a lot of clubs now that have a leadership group, is that in place, and how beneficial do you think that will be for you?
As I said, it's pretty new, but the manager did touch on that, and as I've touched on, we're going to need a lot of leaders in the camp. I touched on Dan, obviously he's our own captain, he's been at Sunderland, had experience of working with Cameron last year as well, who's a true leader in everything he does. So it'll not just be about myself, there will be that kind of core group that looks to lead the changing room. But obviously myself, I'll be at the forefront of that. But I'm pleased with what we've seen so far. I think we've got a lot of good people in that changing room, and we'll look to lead that properly.
Growing up and watching Rangers captains of the past, what will it mean to you walking out on Friday night wearing that armband in a competitive game for the first time?
I can't wait. I wasn't to do it in the friendly in Spain, to be honest, just to get the chance to get the armband on. But no, listen, to lead my club like that I've supported all my life is obviously going to be a huge moment, but at the same time we've got a job to go and do, and I'll be fully concentrated on football after that. But I'll allow myself a minute to enjoy it.
All gets underway Friday. Lawrence, in terms of the readiness of this squad for what lies ahead, where are Rangers at the moment? How ready are you and the players for this campaign?
Pre-season obviously was good for us. We got a lot of good work in with our trip to Spain, with the two more recent games as well at Ibrox, so that's been good for us. Get experience of feeling like playing at home and stuff. But listen, pre-season serves its purpose. You can only be as ready as you can be with the use that you've got there. But I believe that the team are ready to go. I've got a feeling about training today that the boys are really looking forward to the competitive games starting again. I certainly am myself, enjoying them a lot more than friendlies. And it's a great fixture for us going up to Dundee United. It'll be a sellout up there, good stadium to play at, good away day for the fans, and it's a prize to go and try and get a result.
And just personally, what do you think you've been through in the last couple of months? I don't think Whirlwind actually covers it in terms of what's happened to you. Have you given yourself a moment to just realise what's happened for you in the last couple of months?
It's football. I think throughout my career you kind of learn the ups and downs. It can come pretty rapid. I think that's probably been the case, and I could probably describe it as that. But obviously at night time you try and reflect on things. Like back for the World Cup, I kind of reflected on that. So there has been moments where you kind of look back, but listen, at this stage of your career you just need to kind of live in the moment. I'm loving where I'm now. I'm loving this opportunity, and I'm excited for the season starting.
Given that you've only just found out yourself, Lawrence, have you had a chance to text family and friends and tell them the news, or are they finding out as they're watching this?
I worked with the media team, so I got a wee 10-second exclusive to give them a heads up, the family chat, but all the messages were flooding through very rapidly, so that was sort of a proud moment for them. A lot of Rangers fans in my family, so they'll be certainly happy to see the captain and the team up.
There has been a lot of talk about standards and mentality and character at this club, not just last season and the failures, but previous seasons. How big a shift have you noticed even just in the last few weeks, and how important is that shift going to be over the course of the season?
I think it's always different when a new management team comes in. Obviously, the majority of the group, I had the pleasure obviously working with them last year, so I know what they come to expect, I know what training's like. But it's high intensity, and I think there's been a slight notch in terms of the levels of training. Even since I've come in, I've seen things improve. And it's just about getting used to what the manager demands. There's nothing wrong with how different people work, but in particular with the manager we've got here, he wants training to be high intensity, he wants it to be competitive, and he wants everybody right at it for the start. So that's something that maybe you've not been used to in the past, you need to get used to it pretty quick. But for what I've seen from the group, everybody's buying into it, and the standards have been getting better.
Given you just found out about it, I mean, is your plan to speak to any of the former captains here just to sort of get an understanding of just how big the job is? And obviously being at Hearts manager, captain is a big job, but I suppose coming here and taking that armband on, it comes with even bigger sort of responsibility.
That is maybe an idea of something I could do, but I've not thought about that in the last hour, if I'm being honest. I was too busy getting photographs and stuff. But no, listen, it's important, you want to buy an experience of people that have been there and done it. And if I get the opportunity to speak to people, I will. Of course, Harry Ferguson, Lee McCall and stuff are still around the club, so I'm sure if I bump into them, they'll be even noticing advice along the way.
You're growing up as a supporter, who do you think of as being the sort of ideal leader that you sort of grew up watching?
It was Barry Ferguson for me. He was always my Rangers hero growing up, so maybe that was being the captain as well. You get the opportunity to lift the trophies at the end of the season when they won them, so it was probably that fact and the thought of that feeling is obviously something we as well as a captain.
What kind of captain are you, Lawrence? I mean, do you rant and rave in the dressing room before games, or are you one of these guys you just go out in the park and try and lead by example?
I do things properly. That's what I like to do. I like to lead by example that way. Of course, there's times where you need to be more vocal, but I think the days of captains being shouting and bawling in people's faces and screaming, I don't think society works that way. I don't think modern day players really react too well with that. I think it's just about identifying the people who need an arm around the shoulder, need a bit of encouragement, and then there's some who do need a jag at times, but listen, that's something you always got to learn your teammates, and that's not just about the captain, that's everybody identifies what players around about them need. It's about me identifying that quickly and doing what I can to help everybody.
And these leadership roles, these leadership qualities, is that something you've always had, or is it something you've been able to develop over the last few years?
I think obviously when you start out in your career, you're really young and you need to learn through experience what people come to expect to being a captain. Obviously you've worked with captains in the past that you maybe look up to in terms of being at clubs. You've always kind of had that stature in the club, and I always thought that was quite important to have, and that's something you kind of need to grow and build. But for me as a person, I don't look to change too much. I was the exact same person before I was a captain at Hearts as I was when I was it, and when I come here I'll be the exact same. I just like to do things properly. I like the boys to do things properly, respect each other, and just to do it the way you should when you're a Rangers player.
Well, it's talking about what you've been through in the last couple of months, but when early in your career, when you were without a club and all that, I remember speaking to you and you said you were going to buy a ball and back to your high school. And you think of that journey you've been on now to be Rangers captain, how incredible is that? And you think it's because of that, because you went through that you are where you are now?
Possibly. Obviously the experiences were huge and huge turning points in your career, but when you're at a kind of crossroads in your career, you're always just looking for the next opportunity to try and show yourself and improve and do things better than you did before. And I think that's probably been a valuable lesson I picked up pretty young. It probably is a lesson for me to do things properly every single day, week in, week out. But as much as you can, nobody can be in it 100% every day, to be honest, but you do as much as you can, and every time you show up to work you turn up with the right attitude. And I think that's something I've always had, and when I got the opportunity, obviously when I was younger, to go back into Ayr and play football again, I'm just so grateful. But that ground obviously does help, and when you work hard and you get moments like this, and you get an honour to lead a couple of Rangers, that is obviously huge.
I heard Chris Lloyd talking the other day about how much pressure he thinks you're under to score goals for Rangers this season. Do you put that pressure on yourself? Do you almost thrive on that, to be the guy that gets the goals to try and win Rangers a title?
I think I've been under that pressure as a striker no matter what club I've been at. Since obviously from my early days kind of through on there, I've managed to put myself in a position to be a talisman at clubs, and United as well, Hearts, and that's something I've been proud of. It's a lot of hard work and obviously setting examples and getting the goals for the team, and that's a responsibility I enjoy. Obviously coming here, maybe a bit more scrutiny around it, but in terms for me the job stays the same. I come to a big club, a big support, you get the opportunity to play at Ibrox, and the way I expected to go. I expect us to control a lot of games at Ibrox and create chances for the strikers. So it's a challenge I'm relishing. I'm looking forward to it and I'm looking forward to doing it.
Lawrence, congratulations. You came so close to winning the title last season with Hearts. What would it mean to you to lead Rangers, your boyhood team supported to Premiership title?
It'd obviously be huge, and that is something we're obviously going to set out to try and do from the end of the season. That's the expectation. You come to a football club like this, you want to go and win the league. There's no shying away for that. We know it's a responsibility that we accept as players. And obviously myself as the captain now, I need to kind of bring that into the changing room. But I seen it, we missed out obviously last season, but I'm looking forward and hopefully can go on closer this year.
I suppose Scott was referring to your career path there. Is that almost a symbol to young players everywhere?
Possibly. Listen, if it helps one boy who's in a sticky position right now, especially at this time of the season, players can find themselves out of the game and it does become a difficult time for people, but if it can be a lesson for any player out there, hopefully we're only going to
Lawrence, I know it's only been an hour or so, but tonight when you go to bed, will you go to bed dreaming of lifting trophies as Rangers skipper? That is the measure of great Rangers skippers in the past, isn't it?
It'll probably depend on what time the kids are going in, to be honest, how long I think. But listen, you don't need to go too far down that corridor outside when you're walking to the press room to see the past photos of the captains of the past lifting trophies, and of course that is something I've always dreamed of. As I just touched on there, it's something that we're going to set out to do this season. Of course we've got to get our hands on Silverwell, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. We've played our first league game yet and we need to look forward to that on Friday.